Have you ever heard of Ronald Reed? He was a janitor and part-time gas station attendant. He wore cheap clothes, drove an old car, and nobody thought he had much. But when he passed away in 2014, people were stunned. He left behind $8 million in savings and investments. No lottery wins, no inheritance, just decades of small savings and patient investing. Ronald's story proves a life-changing truth. Financial success isn't about intelligence, education, or luck. It's about behavior. And that's exactly what Morgan Housel explains in his book, The Psychology of Money. In this video, we'll break down 5 powerful lessons from the book told through real stories, so you can start thinking about money differently. Let's dive in. The price of wealth. Everything has a price. Want a car? Pay money. Want muscles? Pay with sweat and time. Want wealth? You pay with volatility, the ups and downs of the market. Here's a story. In the early 2000s, Netflix was just starting out. A few visionary investors believed in it and invested heavily. Fast forward to today, those investors could be millionaires. But here's what most people forget. Netflix stock lost 80% of its value in 2011 when customers canceled subscriptions in droves. Imagine you put half your savings into it, then watched it vanish almost overnight. Would you have held on, or would you have sold in panic? That's the price of wealth. Emotional pain, patience, and sleepless nights. Even if you played it safe and just bought the S&P 500 index in 1980, you would have faced multiple crashes, 13 years in total when your portfolio was down by 20%, and almost a full year when it was down 50%. The lesson: market drops are not a punishment. They're the entrance fee to long-term wealth. If you want the reward, you must be willing to pay the price. Never enough. Let me tell you a story about Rajat Gupta. He was once one of the most respected businessmen in the world. He grew up poor in India, worked his way into Harvard Business School, became the head of McKinsey, and built a fortune. But for Gupta, it wasn't enough. He wanted more, faster. So, he used insider information to make trades. He was caught, charged, and ended up in prison. A man who had everything threw it away for a little more. That's the trap of money. There's always someone richer than you, always a bigger number. A doctor making $500,000 feels rich until he meets a CEO making $10 million. That CEO feels successful until he sees Michael Jordan's billion-dollar empire. And even Jordan looks small compared to Jeff Bezos. There's no finish line. Unless you define enough, you'll always feel behind. The lesson: never risk what you already have and need for something you don't have and don't need. True wealth is learning when to stop. Crazy is in the eye of the beholder. Back in 2009, when the financial crisis was still fresh, millions of Americans were still buying lottery tickets every week. From the outside, this looked crazy. Many of these households couldn't afford a $400 emergency expense, yet they spent hundreds each year chasing impossible odds. But look deeper. These people had little chance of escaping poverty through normal jobs. They couldn't imagine affording a vacation, a new car, or college tuition. Buying a lottery ticket wasn't just gambling, it was buying hope, a tiny piece of the dream that others were already living. Morgan Housel reminds us, people's financial choices reflect their unique experiences. What looks crazy to you may be perfectly rational for them. The takeaway: don't judge other people's money choices and don't copy them either. A billionaire invests to stay rich, while you might be investing to get rich. Different goals, different strategies. Focus on your own path. Prepare, don't predict. Let's rewind to Black Monday, 1987. The stock market lost nearly 23% of its value in a single day. People panicked. Newspapers screamed, "The end of Wall Street." But here's what happened after. Within a couple of years, the market had recovered, and long-term investors who stayed calm ended up fine. The truth is, almost no one predicted Black Monday, just like no one predicted the 2008 financial crisis, or COVID-19, or the dot-com bubble. These are what Nassim Taleb calls black swan events: unpredictable, rare, and world-changing. So instead of wasting time trying to predict the next crash, you should prepare for it. Have cash savings. Diversify your portfolio. Expect that big, scary downturns will happen, and when they do, don't panic. Here's a surprising fact. If you invested in the S&P 500 over the last 20 years, but missed just the 10 best days in the market, your returns would be cut almost in half. That's why timing the market is impossible. You can't guess the perfect moment. The lesson: don't predict. Prepare. The winners aren't the ones who saw the crash coming. They're the ones who survived it. The seduction of pessimism. Imagine two people on stage. One says, "The future is bright. Technology is advancing. Medicine is improving. Opportunities are growing." The other says, "The market is about to crash. The government is drowning in debt. A recession recession is coming. Which one do you believe? Most people side with the pessimist. That's because pessimism sounds smart. Optimism sounds naive. Psychologists like Daniel Kahneman explain this with loss aversion. Our brains fear losses twice as much as we value gains. Bad news feels urgent. Good news feels slow and boring. But here's the truth. The long-term trend of history is progress. We've survived wars, pandemics, depressions, and crashes. And yet, life expectancy is higher than ever. Technology is stronger than ever, and markets, over time, keep growing. The takeaway: don't get hypnotized by doomsday predictions. Optimism might not sell headlines, but it wins in the long run. So, what have we learned from the psychology of money? Wealth isn't free. The price is volatility. Enough is a powerful word. What looks crazy to one person might be rational to another. Stop predicting crashes. Prepare for them. And finally, don't fall for pessimism. Long-term progress is real. Remember Ronald Read, the janitor with $8 million? He didn't need a Harvard degree or a Wall Street job. He simply behaved wisely with money, saved consistently, invested patiently, and trusted compounding to do its work. That's the ultimate lesson. Financial success is less about knowledge and more about behavior. Now I want to hear from you. Which lesson hit you hardest? Was it the reminder to define your enough? Or the idea that volatility is just the price of wealth? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. And if you found value in this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share with someone who needs these lessons. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.